Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the most important video I've ever created, so please keep watching until the end. For those of you who've been following this channel for some time, you know that I have two important goals when I create content. The first goal is to shake men out of their blue-pilled fantasy and get them to look honestly at reality. The second is to provide a voice of moderation and rationality and try and talk men off the edge of red pill extremism. I understand that there are lots of men out there who are angry, and a lot of that anger is justified. If you've been lied to for your entire life, you've taken action based on those lies and have suffered as a result of that, then you have a right to be angry about it. However, I think that there's some confusion about what the anger phase actually is. It's a stage of grieving to be felt, acknowledged, but ultimately overcome. If you want to live a life that's happy and successful, then you don't want to get stuck in anger and hatred. You want to use red pill information to make better decisions, to improve your life, and come to a better understanding of reality. Unfortunately, there are lots of voices out there that fan the flames of anger and hatred under the guise of being red pill or MGTOW, and they encourage men to stay in a perpetual state of anger and victimhood. I have always maintained that understanding the gender differences between men and women and having an honest look about the current state of dating and relationships in our modern society does not need to be a divisive message. If men become red-pilled, they will then understand that women will be more attracted to them if they are confident, wealthy, and in good physical shape. That will inspire them to become that awesome version of themselves. Their lives will improve, as well as the lives of the women that they interact with. In other words, becoming red-pilled is good for everyone, men and women. And if you want to improve things for men, then competition with women is a very short-sighted way to gain an advantage. You can invade another country and steal all of their gold, but eventually you'll run out of countries to pillage. You're better off cooperating, setting up mutual trade so that both countries benefit. Likewise, you can adopt the ideas of red pill extremism and give men an advantage at the expense of women, or you can promote cooperation between the genders where everybody benefits. This is my goal, and I believe it's the goal of anybody who looks at this situation rationally. To this end, I call myself a red pill moderate. I understand that red pill ideas contain valuable truths about gender differences and the way our modern society is set up with regards to dating and relationships. But I reject any ideas that promote division, tribalism, or misogyny. Now, holding this view of a red pill moderate has attracted a lot of criticism from men who want me to give in to extremism. I've been called blue-pilled, purple-pilled, a soy boy, a simp, a cuck. Personally, I think that these labels say a lot more about the people leveling these accusations than they do about me. I call myself a red pill moderate, and I'm extremely grateful to have a dedicated and loyal audience of men and some women who appreciate that I have an examination of red pill ideas without undertones of bitterness and hatred. I am so grateful to you all. Thank you so much, guys. You keep me inspired and enthusiastic to continue making content. However, while I'm really pleased with what's going on with this channel, I am concerned that overall, the message of the red pill is sliding deeper and deeper into extremism. Young guys who have very little real-world experience with women are logging onto YouTube and listening to a lot of red pill ideas that resonate as true, mixed in with a lot of irrational comments promoting a hatred of women. It's almost as if the credibility of the good ideas are being exploited to give false credibility to the ideas that are extreme. This is my fear, that labels like red pill and MGTOW are being hijacked by people who just want to justify their irrational hatred and paranoia. I really don't intend for any of this to sound judgmental. If somebody's life experiences have been so horrible that they genuinely think that some of these extreme ideas sound plausible, then you have my compassion. However, I'm finding it increasingly difficult to tap into that compassion because I'm so much more concerned with the damage that's being done to impressionable young minds. Just recently, I've had some experiences that have convinced me that it's not enough to simply provide an alternative voice promoting rationality and moderation within the red pill community. Somebody needs to get in there to actually engage with these ideas and explain why they're psychologically appealing to people, and to debunk whatever logic they seem to have. So I'm going to be introducing a new format on this channel called Debunking Red Pill Extremism. I'm going to create new content that directly engages with these ideas and hopefully shows men why it's not a good idea to give in to extremism. In these videos, I'm not going to be using anybody's names because I'm not interested in creating some clickbait YouTube feud. Ultimately, the person who's speaking these ideas is irrelevant. What's important is that the ideas themselves are engaged with and explored. Now, part of my motivation for this is to help men so that they can live the best life possible. But the other part of my motivation is just to satisfy my own conscience. Just like I believe that it's incumbent on moderate Muslims to denounce radical Islam and for socialists to denounce extreme Marxist ideas, if I'm going to use the term red pill in my channel, then I feel like it's my moral responsibility to point out ideas that are extreme but are disguised as being red pill. Now, I feel like one of the central tenets of being a red pill moderate is the ability to defend your ideas on their merits without needing to resort to personal insults or attacks. I don't expect everybody who listens to my ideas to agree with me. For one thing, I've been wrong about so many things in my life that it would be the height of foolishness for me to assume that what I believe now is definitely correct. So while I don't mind if you disagree with me, I will let you know that I only pay attention to comments that are written respectfully, with a sincere intention of having a dialogue with me. If you have information that I haven't considered before, or you can see some kind of flaw in my logic, please speak up. It's by exposing myself to new ideas that I ultimately become wise. However, if your only intention is to insult and create more division, I'll politely ask you now to move on to a different channel. I don't think you're going to find content here that appeals to your perspective. It's this sort of thing that I think really defines what I see as a split within the red pill community. Some of the information spoken about might be the same, but if we have completely different end goals in mind, how much do we really have in common? This might sound strange to some people, but I genuinely feel like I have more in common with a rational and moderate feminist than I do with a red pill extremist. If a woman sits down with me and respectfully says that to her, feminism is about equality between the genders, and she shows a genuine interest and concern in some of the unique difficulties faced by men, then I feel like we're fundamentally on the same page. We'll probably have a whole bunch of disagreements, but the important thing is that we want what's best for everybody, both genders. If I compare that with some guy who tells me that women are fundamentally broken at their core, that the only solution is to take away their voting rights and replace them with silicone sex dolls, I really just don't feel like I have anything in common with that guy. If I follow his line of thinking, it's only going to create more division, more unhappiness, more suffering, and I have no interest in that. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but I really feel like what's at stake here is the future of the red pill philosophy. We have this collection of ideas, but what are we going to do with it? Are we going to do what humans have always done, twisted the facts and stoked the fires of anger, hatred, and division? Or can we use this opportunity to promote cooperation so everybody mutually benefits, men and women? I really hope that it's the latter that wins, and that the legitimate concerns that the red pill community raises eventually become mainstream talking points, and we can begin to see some changes. This seems like a far better alternative than the red pill philosophy being relegated to some fringe corner of the internet and drowning in a sea of anger and bitterness. I really hope that the wider red pill community starts to show some signs of moderation and actively denouncing extreme ideas. Unless this happens, my fear is that ultimately I may have to distance myself from the philosophy. There is a lot of crazy stuff out there that I don't want to be associated with, and I especially don't want to lend whatever credibility I have to a community that promotes tribalism. Already, I've had 30% of my videos, including 2 of my biggest earners, demonetized just because I use tags like red pill and MGTOW. So, if you're like me and you believe in red pill ideas, but don't want to see them get used to promote division and conflict, then what can you do to help? The first and easiest thing that you can do is to simply keep coming back to this channel. If you have a friend who you fear is getting lost in extreme ideas, maybe send them a couple of these videos. By supporting this channel, you demonstrate that it's red pill moderates that are in the majority, and the minority are those who give in to extremism. If you want to take your support to the next level, then maybe consider making a pledge on Patreon. Every donation helps keep the channel going, and I really appreciate it. Outside of that, find other red pill channels that are moderate in their approach and support them. If you find some great ones, let me know of their existence so I can reach out and do some collaborations. Eventually, we could have a wide network of cooperating channels that appeals directly to an audience of red pill moderates. Also, try talking to the women in your life about the red pill and about some of the unique struggles that men face. Enlist them as allies. Don't give in to the paranoia that some people promote, telling you that women are the enemies and that they can't be trusted. If you've only met horrible women in your life, then you have my compassion, but hear me when I say that if that's the case, you're at least partly responsible. You need to go out there and find some nicer women of higher quality. Once you've found them, start talking to them about men's issues. And lastly, the most important thing that you can do to show your support is to become the best version of yourself that you can be. If you have suffered due to your blue pill conditioning, then the best revenge that you can possibly get is to become awesome. Complaining, giving into anger, being a perpetual victim will not make you happy, but living an awesome life will. So go out there and make it happen. You deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also share this video with others so that together we can use red pill ideas to improve the lives of everyone.